So within this tutorial, I'm going to give you an overview of Google Drawings. So normally what will appear is just an untitled drawing. You'll go ahead and label it. Your options that you have here, you have the ability to share this with anybody that you'd like. You can create a new drawing from a template that you might have previously had. You can create a new Google app for education, any of those. That's a quick way to access that. You can make a copy of this if you'd like. You can download this. You can download it as a PDF, a JPEG, a PNG, or an SVG file. So it depends upon what you're using it for. You can email it as an attachment, make it available offline, look at the version history as well. If you need to rename it, you can click this, or you can go up to the top. You can move it into a specific file. You can go ahead and just delete it if you'd like. You can publish it to the web. See the document details, choose the language, change the page setup, which might be a feature that you want to look at. Right now, this is the standard. However, you can change it accordingly, just dependent upon your needs. And you can also customize it according to inches, centimeters, points, or pixels. So it just is dependent upon your preference. So you'll hit apply for that. You also have print settings and preview as long as the ability to print. If you look under edit, it's the standard editing buttons that you have: undo, redo, copy, cut, paste, all those. Under view, you can actually zoom in. So if you're looking for some really fine tuning of some specific like curves or edges, you have the ability to zoom in. It's showing the ruler. You don't have to, so you can actually change that. It can give you guides as well. So if you want it to show the guides, it's going to give you kind of like a grid line where everything is to make your drawings a little bit more precise. And then again, if you don't want guides, but you want grids, you can go ahead and look at that as well. And if you want it to be full screen, you have the ability to do that. So inserting, you have the ability to insert images, and that can be from Google, any previous images that you may have or own on your own. So that's the option that you have there. Text box, so you can insert text box to your drawing. And I will show you that, how to do some tips and tricks in a different video. The ability to add shapes, dependent upon what you're trying to accomplish within your Google Draw. You can insert tables, which is nice. So if you want to create an image that has a table, you have the ability to do that. You can insert a specific chart. You can actually import from maybe a sheet that you have. So that's a nice feature. Diagram is actually really a great tool. So if you have your kids needing to create maybe like an infographic, a timeline, anything specific, there are pre-made things that they have available. So if you want, you can go ahead and select a specific maybe timeline, and it's actually going to import that into the drawing. It's going to default. So notice that it didn't move everything. So if you want to move everything and kind of align it, what you want to do is hold down on your mouse, and then you're going to select it all. And then you can use just the arrows up and down. But if you want a specific, maybe smaller movement, you'll actually hold down Shift and use your arrows, and then it's going to give you a little bit smaller increments to move your image around. So that's really cool that you have the ability to import specific diagrams. You can also use word art. So this is really fun. If you've ever used Paint before, this is kind of the feature that it had. So right now it's kind of just like box letters. You have the ability to choose colors. You can actually go to gradients and kind of add a little bit of flair to it as well. This would be the outline of the writing or the text. And if you want it to be a different color, you can go ahead and change that as well. You can change the thickness of the word border as well. So if you want it to be a little bit thicker, maybe you want to add some flair and make it dotted. That's a little bit too much, but you can go ahead and choose whichever you'd like. You also do have the ability to change the font, which is really fun. So students have the ability to personalize what it is that they're creating. Now, what you'll notice behind is that checkered line. If your students right-click on the grid, you want to go to background, and then the students can actually select a specific color in order to eliminate that. But that's something that they have the ability to do. So you can also insert lines, arrows, different things like that, insert comments to specific aspects as well. Going over format, I don't have anything selected, therefore it's all grayed out, but I don't necessarily format from here. I just use the tool options up here. What's nice about this with arranging things, dependent upon like the overlay of things that you're creating, you might need things to come forward or come back. So you have the ability to do that. So what I'll show you right now is I'm just going to insert a box and I'll make it that color, but maybe I want to insert another box just so I can show you what this looks like. Well, I had that blue one on there. Now I have another blue one, but maybe I want this black one to be behind the initial blue one I made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to arrange. I'm going to go to order. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to the back or to back. And what it does is it actually sends it behind that first initial box that I made. So you can be mindful of how you're layering things, but if you maybe forget or need to use that arrange order button, you have the ability to do that as well. So maybe I don't want it to be in the back. Maybe I want to bring it to the front, but maybe I just need to resize it and make it a little bit smaller. And now it's going to be at the center of that box. So that's a really cool feature that you have. What's also nice, what I'm going to show you is you have the ability to align, distribute, and center on the page. So those options are really fun. You might want to check those out, and it's going to align it accordingly to your preference. You can go ahead and rotate the shape or object, and it gives you those options as well. I'm going to show you how to group certain things together. So for example, I would like all of this timeline to be grouped together. So if I move something, it's going to move as a group. So what I did to select all was I held down on my mouse, I dragged it over to the end, so it's selecting all those shapes. So I go up to arrange, and if I go ahead and click group, it's going to group everything together. So now everything travels together, which is nice. So that way I'm not messing up any of the perimeters or the graphics of my specific timeline. Now, if I don't want that to happen anymore, I can quickly hit ungroup, and that's an option for you as well. Some other tools that you have, spelling, explore is a really cool button. It might change your drawing, so that's something cool that you can go ahead and explore. If you have a question, you can go ahead and hit help. So these are really cool features that Google Drawing has, just a quick way for students maybe to create like an infographic or something fun that's opposed to just text, but something visual for a reader to view or see. So I hope that you find this tutorial helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.